Let's talk about saving and budgeting for beginners. The following are myths that prevent people from beginning to budget. I don't make enough money to budget. Budgeting is for the rich people. Getting started is just way too confusing for me. I just don't get it. Wait, I do a good job now with my finances. Why do I need to start budgeting? You know what? I'll let my Social Security take care of me when I'm older. That'll work, right? Social Security is on the decline and we should not be relying on it. We should be relying on our investments, the ones we plant now, so we can reap the benefits of it in the future. But if at the end of the month you still feel like there's more month left in paycheck, then budgeting might be the solution for you, or one of these solutions for you. If there's one thing we are good at, it is spending money. Whether it be on rent, groceries, eating out, fun activities, dates, trips, school, car payments, mortgages. Regardless of what situation you're in, making a budget has never hurt anybody. The goal of this short video is to get you started on the road of achieving financial freedom, which the first step obviously is to make a budget. But Jaime, what is a budget? A budget is a financial tracker that will smartly limit your expenses while maximizing your savings at the same time. But Jaime, how do I make a budget? There are two main paths you can take while making a budget. You can either use a pen and paper, the old school way, or you can use a PC, a laptop, any kind of computer. I personally use both methods, but one will do for starters. Step number one, if you're doing the pen and paper route, get yourself a pen and a paper. I prefer pen since it's easier to read, but that's just my personal opinion. Organize the paper as shown here. Obviously, there are many ways to approach this pen and paper budget, but this is my personal take. To each their own. I like to have a column for the item number, the description, such as Costco, obviously the date, which is very important. You want to know when you did it. Kind of track your habits. And finally, in the last column, you want to put the cost or the price of whatever you bought or the income. To make it easier for me to read, I highlight my income in a different color than the expenses. The expenses I just leave untouched. At the end of every month, I add up all my expenses, my income, and I sum those up, and hopefully the net revenue will be positive. Obviously, the goal is for you to have a positive gain that month, right? That is the point of saving. To have more income than expenses. If for some reason or the other this wasn't the case this month, you can only use this as a driving force for next month to want to improve your expenditures in order for you to have a positive gain. The goal at the end is to make more than you spend. Also, on the same budgeting sheet, I keep track of the value of all my banking and investment accounts. So it's like a nice way for me to reflect and look back and see how I've been growing month to month. It's a nice way to see the incremental changes because sometimes we get caught up in the day-to-day life that we forget to see the picture in the long run. The second route, the computer route, it should look something like this. This is my personal one. Obviously, you can adjust it accordingly. But it's the same idea as having the pen and paper one. It's just on the computer. Two benefits that I see from having a computerized budget is that it's very portable, you can access it from wherever, and the computer adds up everything that you need. The point I'm trying to make here is just to make a budget, get started. That is the first step. The hardest step is the first step, but it is the most important step. After you have made your budget, the next step is to break down your income. You gotta have to set financial goals. For someone who is new to saving and budgeting, I would recommend starting with the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your income should be saved for known monthly expenses such as rent, utilities, the list goes on, or any other fixed monthly expenses. 30% should be set aside for flexible spending, which covers groceries, eating out, hobbies, fun activities, shopping. Finally, 20% should be saved for achieving financial goals. This goes from saving for retirement to starting your banking accounts, your saving accounts, any kind of accounts that can be used for your future. Obviously, the higher monthly savings for your future, the better, but 20% is a good start for beginners. I personally keep track of all my expenses, from buying a soda or a coffee to paying utilities to paying for rent. I'm a little crazy when it comes to this, but the way I see it is that if I buy a coffee every day for $2 and it's a minimal expense, not worth tracking, at the end of the month, it's going to be $60, which becomes a major expense. So why not track it down now? Eliminating these unwanted expenses is the point of budgeting. My results were that I was able to cut out my expenses by 15%, which allowed me to now save up to 50% of what I make. In summary, make a budget, pen, paper, computer, doesn't matter. The point is just get started. It might take some time to see the results. Do not get frustrated. It is a monthly thing, but if you feel more comfortable doing a bi-weekly or weekly or whenever you get paid, that obviously works too, and you can do that to get faster results. Obviously, budgeting is not the only way to save money. There are also different types of budgeting methods, such as the envelope method, which I will cover in a future video. In conclusion, I leave you with this quote: a budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Dave Ramsey. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.